Hi everyone, hope you're all having a good day today. Amberlynn's gonna talk about how they pay their bills and how it's split. Basically, Amberlynn considers herself a roommate slash girlfriend of Becky's, because she'll say here if they break up then Amberlynn is still just gonna be a roommate. Kind of sounds correct. Later on they figure out that's kind of how it was. They were friends basically.
Becky, my messages were ignored because she didn't like the fact I mentioned how she disrespected you in the labs. You deserve better. Well, B. Mason, I mean, I don't know what said, but maybe it did come off as disrespectful. I don't know what she says. Have you ever intentionally tried to disrespect me?
Obviously not.
You did it, don't lie.
Okay, well then I don't know what you're talking about.
Probably just like me saying things like, I feel like I've said the same things you've said, you know?
Oh, like,
we probably might not have been in love, like we loved each other.
Yeah. No, y'all, these are things I already knew. Literally, I can promise you right now, it doesn't shock me because every relationship I've ever been in, it turns out they didn't really love me. So this is nothing new, and I'm not that upset about it because I get it.
No, I think that, I don't know, we loved each other.
Yeah, but it wasn't in love. Do you think you're in love now? Do you think she's in love with you? That's a very nice feeling. Congratulations, I've never had that.
I was in love with you in the beginning. I was.
What would you do if Becky broke up with you and asked you to move out? I honestly feel bad for you and worried that you wouldn't have anyone. You've always gone from GF to GF and have never lived on your own, except for when Destiny moved out. Are you capable of being independent? The only thing that keeps me from being completely independent is the fact that I don't have a car. You'd be surprised to learn that several people in my life also don't drive. It isn't an uncommon thing. If Becky broke up with me, I wouldn't be kicked out. I'd be a roommate. But if I was to be kicked out, which I wouldn't unless something horrible happened, I'd get my own place. It's not that difficult around here, LOL.
I spent a couple months before my lease was up searching for apartments that were pet friendly for 3 animals. I had literally no luck. I then decided, okay, how about I rent a home? So I would search houses that were pet friendly for 3 animals, and I had no luck again. I seriously could not find anywhere. I wanted to move closer to Becky. Her and I are in a relationship now and her car is not doing good. So it was very hard for her to go back and forth to visit me. And there were just like nowhere. There were no apartments, no houses, no trailers. I even got desperate and said, I'm not saying anything's wrong with the trailer, but I even got desperate and was like, okay, I'll rent a trailer if I have to. I don't want to get rid of my animals. I love them so much. I couldn't find anywhere. I couldn't even find anywhere that allowed 2 animals. And I was like, what the like, what is wrong with animals? Seriously. As the time kept on ticking, I couldn't find anywhere. I didn't know what to do. Becky offered me to live with her, and I took her up on that offer.
There is nothing that I like about where I live. Wow, you seem a little ungrateful. Where would you even be right now if it wasn't for these people taking you in? I do not like living in Kentucky at all. Everyone knows that. Even the people I live with do not like the town we live in. So, LOL. And also, these people are my friends, and they did not take me in. I pay bills just like the rest of them. Becky and I pay 66% of the bills and they pay the other 33%. She talks about how they split the rent while she's living with Destiny and the roommate. At this point, the roommate's already moved out, but she's going to talk about how they did split the bills. It's kind of similar to how she was splitting them with Eric, Rickie, and Becky. Eric and Rickie have one room. Technically, Becky has her own room, but Amberlynn shares it with her because they sleep in that room. And then Amberlynn has another room, which is the den, to herself. They pay for each room instead of splitting all the bills 4 ways.
The apartment that we have right now, there are 2 rooms. One room is going to be rented for half of the rent, and the other room is going to be rented for half of the rent. Destiny and I are in one room, so we pay half of the rent together. And then our roommate, ex-roommate, that I adore and like everything, she's not going to be living here and stuff, but it's okay. Destiny and I can do this on our own. It's going to be very
very, very difficult. If she wants to live with her boyfriend, that's okay. But back to what I was saying, our ex-roommate's room is rented off for half of the rent. Whether our ex-roommate brought in her sister and her boyfriend and they all shared a room, we came home.
I had to put this clip in here. Remember that she said that 3 people would be living in this room.
To her room being all packed up. I want to go look again. Okay, well, her snake is still here. It was fun having a roommate while it lasted. Maybe this could be Wasabi's room.
Oh man, the face. You see it change as soon as she walks into the room.
Oh, it stinks like pee.
Why is her
Did she pee? It's wet over here. I just put my foot in it.
Oh my, Leia.
Did you pee? Is that what this is? Smell it. It doesn't smell like pee.
Did you pee yourself maybe?
No, Destiny probably peed. I made her laugh and she was like, I think I peed.
I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee. I'm gonna pee.
I didn't pee. You peed yourself, Destiny, and that's what's on my foot. That's why it's wet.
We wouldn't all be splitting it 5 ways because there's not 5 rooms. There's 2 rooms. The roommate and her sister and her boyfriend would all be splitting half of the rent between the 3 of them. So I hope that makes sense a little more. She already knew that half the rent was because of that half of the room and the other half was because of this half of the room. Reminiscing.
Kris, I think you're right. That, yeah, they knew that if Amberlynn would be moving in, they would get to pay way less rent than they did when it was just Becky.
As we were talking, he started mentioning to both Becky and I, like, you know, I understand y'all have been hanging out with Hannah and Ray for a while, which I want to say I did. I spent a lot of days with them. We became very close. And so Eric, which I am very grateful for, he was like, you know, I feel like we need to talk and clear the air, and I need to tell you some things that they said about you guys, both me and Becky.
Her saying that I just came up to you guys and told you it just to start drama? No, I asked Becky, I said, hey, are you planning on moving out?
He's not trying to start drama, but watch what he does. I came up and say, hey, are you planning on moving out? It's not drama. But how he found out about her possibly looking for somewhere new to live. Maybe that's how he starts the drama.
Well, listen, I didn't even tell her where I heard it from. I just
Not yet.
asked her the question. I said, hey, are you planning on doing this? She said no.
And then he says, what?
And I was like, okay, well, then why would your friends tell me that if it wasn't true?
At first he said he didn't tell her where it came from, but now he's saying that he did tell her where it came from.
And she's like, what do you mean? And I told her everything that they said.
Of course, everything.
And I said, is this true? They told me this, and this. I'm going to the source. I went to Becky and I went to you. I went to the source.
Sounds like he's doing research.
And I asked both of you guys, did you guys say this about me and Rickie? Are you guys planning on doing this?
Right.
And you guys said no.
Because we're not.
Because they're not.
Oh yeah, Becky tells us everything.
Do you think that Becky actually told them that, or do you think Rafe was making it up? Amberlynn knew she had to find somewhere else to live for a while, so there's quite a big possibility that they were looking for somewhere else and that they had mentioned it to their friends, or at least the 2 friends that they weren't living with. Amberlynn says she has to make some decisions in the near future regarding where she will be moving, but has already made this one.
I want to be closer to Becky.
Anna Sane has a prediction.
I think he'll end up moving in with Becky anyway. I don't really know. We're gonna see.
We're going to see what happens.
She can't be mad at Eric, and then she needs a place to move soon. Yeah, exactly. And Eric doesn't want Becky to move out because they're like attached at the hip with Becky. They're trying to get in good with Amberlynn so that she'll come there and Becky won't leave.
During the video that Becky and Amberlynn do to kind of explain their side of the story here, they'll talk about how they were potentially going to let 2 other people move in before Amberlynn. So I guess they were looking for roommates, or at least were okay with the idea of roommates.
We even at one point was going to let a few people move in because we live in a very spacious place. A lot of rooms. They're very nice. The landlord told them no because they had
The 3 animals.
they had 3 animals. Weren't they dogs? Yeah, all 3 dogs.
And they're very small. He does not want any more animals in his home. This is still his home we're renting.
Whoa, that'd be like 5 dogs out running around the yard. That would be a lot.
Whenever Amberlynn was going to move in,
I was terrified because we didn't even
I have 3 cats.
We didn't even or 3 animals.
We didn't. You have 2 cats and a dog.
I know, it's 3 cats, 3 animals, whatever.
We didn't even want to tell them about Twinkie, but we was like, we can't with Twinkie and the cats. Like, that's just too much on Amberlynn. So we talked to him. And at first he was very weary about it. He was just like, I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he met Twinkie, and it's like the instant he saw her, and he was just like, okay.
Amberlynn doesn't want to let Becky talk.
Yeah, you can't say no to Twinkie. Look at her.
She's great. But while we were showing him
Becky's giving too much attention to Twinkie in this moment. OMG, that's not fair, Amberlynn. They are 2 people. They should each pay so it's equal all 4 ways. This was the plan before moving in here, and I think it is totally fine. Why are you forced to pay more? Do you not share a room with Becky? Do you feel you are using more energy? It doesn't make sense. And you only have 1 pet. Eric and Rickie are scamming you, girl. Run. I am not using more energy. All I use is my laptop, LOL. I do not even use my TV, really. I am not a TV watching person. That's so funny she says that, because we'll see them like watching TV a lot, and they're usually out in the living room, which I think was Eric and Rickie's TV maybe. Amberlynn has her TV in her den. She's right, she doesn't really use that. Saying she's not a TV watching person, maybe not technically, but she does watch a lot of TV shows. She just does it on her laptop. I'm a roommate to them, so that is what they wanted me to pay, and I agreed to it. And of course I share a room with Becky. She is my girlfriend, LOL. They're not scamming me. It was just an agreement.